UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer met with US President Donald Trump in Washington. Ukraine was the main topic of discussion, with Starmer seeking security guarantees for Ukraine with the help of a royal invitation to visit Britain from King Charles. Both the UK and France have offered to deploy peacekeeping troops in Ukraine, but with US guarantees of help. President Trump said he trusted Russian President Vladimir Putin to honor any ceasefire deal with Ukraine.
The deal, if we get it, is going to be hugely important. I don't think it would have happened if the space hadn't been created for it by yourself. But if there's a deal in, we've got to make sure it's a deal that lasts, that is not temporary, that lasts, and that's why we need to make sure that it's secure, and we've lent in and said we'll play our part, and we've talked and we will talk about how we work with yourself, Mr. President, to ensure that this deal is something which is not violated, because it's very important that if there is a deal, we keep it.
And that will be, and I think I can say that will be the easy part. That's the part we look forward to, because putting security there, that's the part we all look forward to. That's easy. The difficult part is getting the deal made.
Let's bring in DW reporter Stefan Simons in Washington and our London correspondent Birgit Maas. Welcome to you both. Stefan, let's start with you. We heard Donald Trump there saying that putting security there is going to be the easy part. What do you make of those remarks? Does this mean he's now willing to grant Ukraine security guarantees?
Yeah, that would be nice, right? Then Keir Starmer's job would be already over halfway through the day with Donald Trump, and success, he is Donald Trump giving security guarantees. But I'm afraid, no, it ain't so. It's not the truth. That's not what Donald Trump means here. He remains wobbly. Just yesterday, he basically dismissed the idea, the sheer idea of any robust security guarantees for Ukraine. And what he is hinting at here is the minerals rare earth deal, which he says will be enough of a security guarantee because he's going to put a lot of American workers into Ukraine, and then Vladimir Putin will not dare to do anything he promised not to do in a yet elusive peace deal, which has to be still negotiated. So no clear yes security guarantees or backstop from Donald Trump for the British Prime Minister.
Birgit, this was Keir Starmer's biggest diplomatic test to date. From what we've seen so far, how did he do?
I think he will have been quite happy, and his advisors will be quite happy with how he did. He really did all he could to stress the closeness to President Trump. He touched him a few times. He flattered him clearly. He told him that it would be a huge success, and he even used the word tremendous a few times, one of Donald Trump's favorite words. So he really tried to be as close to the man as he could. And he then also created this surprise moment, an on-camera surprise moment for President Trump when he handed him the letter from King Charles, a second state visit. And Keir Starmer said it's unprecedented, and he really wanted to bring across the esteem that he and the British public and the King all hold for Donald Trump. So I think he really did want to come across as really stress how close the relationship between the two is, but also between the two countries. And I think more implied rather than something that he overtly said, also the responsibility that holds for the United States to also back the UK up, for example, when it comes to Ukraine, when it comes to these security guarantees for British troops that he has offered to send to the Ukraine, but only if there was a backup by the US. We haven't heard President Trump commit to it, and no doubt Keir Starmer will keep on working on that one.
Yeah, a lot of flattery, you said it there. If you were to imagine them interacting behind closed doors, two very different personalities, of course, is Starmer someone who can also do the tough talk?
Really different personalities. I mean, they couldn't be more different. Keir Starmer, more of a technocrat, definitely not glamorous, and he clearly also took a back seat for the most of the time in this press briefing. He didn't say very much. He didn't dominate President Trump. He let President Trump shine. But he did at some point interject some comments, and I think that from there you can see that behind closed doors he will also not be a pushover, and he will stand up to the president. There was one issue of free speech where President Vance was asked about his comments, or clarified, and then Keir Starmer said he's very proud of the tradition of free speech in the UK. And also there was an issue about Ukraine when Keir Starmer said, well, most of the money that is being given is actually gifted. So he did stand up in a very, very careful and very measured way in order to stand firm but not to offend.
Stefan, this all takes place on the eve of a visit by Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy. He's coming there on Friday morning. What can we expect from that meeting?
Well, that's, as the president said, sometimes between him and President Volodymyr Zelenskyy, it gets a little bit, quote, testy. And that is the word which actually describes best the relationship those two have right now. The president is expecting the Ukrainian president tomorrow in the United States. Why is that? Because he wants to sign a deal. The big deal Donald Trump is floating and advertising for and with for the last week or so, and that is about rare earth and minerals. The U.S. wants a big chunk of the cake. And again, I think, or many people who analyze Donald Trump's rhetoric and behavior, now with the British Prime Minister, a few days back with Emmanuel Macron, the French president, it is about deal-making and the security stop. The security guarantee, in his mind, is really a investment into Ukraine. Not of American money, but Americans get something out of Ukraine, American workers working there, etc., etc. That will best protect the Ukrainians from Vladimir Putin and the Europeans too. Now, if this all works out like this, we'll see. And the manner of how this meeting tomorrow is going down between Zelenskyy and Donald Trump, it's going to be absolutely interesting and probably fascinating.
You'll be there watching it for us. Thank you both so much for your analysis. That was Washington reporter Stefan Simons and DW's Birgit Maas in London.